what's going on with ISIS. My next guest says, though, that the president's strategy against ISIS also empowers Iran, and he has written a piece for the Weekly Standard on this exact topic. Colonel Derek Harvey is a former senior intelligence executive for the Defense Intelligence Agency, retired from the U.S. Army, and director of the Global Initiative at the University of South Florida. Quite a resume. Derek, it's nice to have you on the program.
It's great to be here, Jenna. Good morning.
Why do you think our strategy against ISIS is wrong?
Well, one thing for sure is it is empowering Iran and helping them with their expansion throughout the region. And in particular, I'd focus in on Iraq. We have a strategic interest in maintaining a sovereign and independent Iraq. And right now, our strategy is enabling Iran to erode that sovereignty and increase its influence over all the institutions of government, particularly in the security services.
And how does that impact our safety and security as a country here at home?
Well, when you look at the threat of Iran, it remains a malign actor in the region. It creates instability and disorder and takes advantage of it. Moreover, I think it's very important to keep in mind that Iran has supported extremist groups, to include al-Qaeda and Jabhat al-Nusra in Syria and across the region over the past decade. They do not just work with Shia militants. So from a terrorist perspective, they killed over a third of the Americans killed in the Iraq War. They continue to support malign activities, and we need to be very concerned about that, not just the expansion of capabilities in regard to the nuclear issue.
And you've certainly heard the critics, Derek, who say, well, listen, we can work with Iran to fight ISIS because ISIS is Sunni, just similar to the folks that might say, well, we can work with Iran because Iran is Shia against al-Qaeda because al-Qaeda is Sunni. What's wrong with that thinking?
Well, the thing is, Iran plays all sides, and they work with the extremist groups, and they support violent activities, and they remain committed against U.S. interests in the region, and they continue to undermine our friends in the region, be they in Ankara, in Cairo, or in the Gulf in Riyadh, and particularly with Tel Aviv.
You've been working in this intel space for 25 years, Derek. You've worked under Republican and Democrat administration. You've seen the entire war on terror from its to now where we're at. Why do we have such a difficulty really understanding who the enemy is and how to beat them?
Well, I think it begins with really focusing in on understanding and developing a detailed knowledge, not just of the terror groups, those that are fighting, but understanding their motivation, their fears, and how they work within these communities, how they integrate in the social, cultural milieu of these areas, and what are the factors that contribute to them being able to recruit and gain support. The other thing is that we don't do a very good job of really doing the detailed analysis and exploiting all of the materials available to us and doing the investigative work and build the networks and the knowledge and really have that focused effort. It really takes a tremendous amount of collaboration, cooperation. You need the right kinds of people. And at times, we're just not doing it right.
Can you give us an example of that?
Well, there just one recent example that has been in the news in the Weekly Standard and elsewhere, and the release of records from the trial in New York City. The Abbottabad papers that were released from that trial, and the Abbottabad papers, the treasure trove of information that came out of the Abbottabad raid. That material could provide tremendous insights into a range of activities, to include al-Qaeda activities in Pakistan, Iran, Africa, and elsewhere, if what we read in the reporting is correct.
Well, just to catch our viewers up on that, because we've covered that a lot as well here on Happening Now, Derek. These papers were released. It's the first time we've seen them from inside bin Laden's compound. They were collected, and they pointed to a series of different things, whether it's al-Qaeda's connection to Iran or just future plans for bad actors inside of al-Qaeda. Since we've only seen just a few of these documents, what else is in them? Well,
I think we need to find out what's in them, and I think they should be available to public scrutiny too, because they were the documents that were found, at an enemy site. They're not U.S. classified documents per se, similar to how the Saddam documents were exploited and made available to people at the Institute of Defense Analysis and elsewhere to exploit and develop better insights on the history, the motivation, how they operated, and that type of thing. That type of historical knowledge and digging in an investigative way is extremely valuable to understanding your enemy. And we need to understand our enemy, define them very well, know what their short, mid, and long-term objectives are, and what their modes of operation are and what their tradecraft is. And you can develop that type of information by exploiting captured enemy documents.
Have we done that?
I don't think we do a very good job of it. I don't think we even did a good job of exploiting the documents that were taken from the Iraqi intelligence services, for that matter.
And why?
Well, I think there's some inertia, and we are focused for the most part on current intelligence reporting and what we would call serialized reporting, what is being collected on a day-to-day basis in human and SIGINT channels. And I think, you get caught up in this, what I hate to say it on Fox, but, the CNN news, headline news type of analysis. And the deeper, more detailed analytical work that needs to go into this is not done.
You can mention CNN. Derek, it's okay. We're confident. We're comfortable, right, John? We can, we're comfortable.
That's right.
With all of that. But Derek, we'd love to have you come on to talk a little bit more about this very important topic, all aspects of it, about making sure that we fully understand the enemy, make sure that we do our due diligence, and then act on it the way that we need to. It's great to have you on the program. Look forward to having you back. Thank you.
All right, Shannon. Have a nice day.
Thank
Bye.
you. You too.
And as we've discussed, so many of those documents have not even been analyzed that they got in the Osama bin Laden raid.
According to the reports, we're looking at 1 million plus different documents. And so there's a big argument to make those documents public, number one. And then there's the second point that was been raised in the Weekly Standard. Stephen Hayes has done a lot of reporting on this to make sure that they've been thoroughly analyzed. And there's a big question mark about that. So it's something that we'll continue to watch.
Well, winter apparently is not done with us yet. Is this Groundhog's Day?
I don't know, John. I can't even look.